Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys had a good Christmas / happy holidays. Today we are talking about cars that share the same engine. Now, car companies will often share engines because it saves money and it's less engineering work and less resources. So they'll go to a company, say, hey, can we have an engine, we'll buy it, there you go, take it and then put it into a car, voila. But anyway, let's get started. First is the Noble M600. This takes a V8 from Volvo. This V8 was created by Yamaha and Volvo and was placed in an XC90 and the S80. Now I'll admit it had two turbos on the Noble, but it still had the same basic engine as this Volvo here and the previous one. Next is another two Nobles, this one and this one. Both these cars take a V6 engine from the Ford Mondeo. Seems good enough to me. Next is the Lotus with the Evora and the Exige. This takes something you wouldn't expect, an engine from a Toyota Camry. Yeah, 3.5 litre V6. I'll admit Lotus did change the engine somewhat, they did some stuff, but like I said, it's just a V6 from a Camry. Next is, let me explain this one. So it's basically a deal kind of thing where Mercedes and Renault, they created a 1.5 litre diesel engine, and so Renault uses it in cars like the Megane and the Kadjar and pretty sure maybe a Clio or something. Mercedes uses it in the A and B class and maybe a C class, I don't know. But because it's part of Renault, cars like Dacia, which is Romanian, which are just Renaults underneath, and Nissan, which is part of the Renault-Nissan Alliance, which is now the Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi Alliance, it also takes the 1.5 litre diesel engine. Next is Koenigsegg. This is the CC8S, I think, don't quote. It takes its engine from a Ford Crown Victoria, yet another Ford. This had a big V8 in it and is used as like taxis and police cars all in America. Next is Nissan, and then mentioning Nissan again. It's the 3.5 litre V6 that was put in the 350Z. Because they were part of the Renault-Nissan Alliance at the time, it was put into cars that were Nissan, besides the 350Z, and some Renaults as well, and some Infinitis, even though Infiniti is Nissan, but you know, we'll gloss over that. Next is Pagani. This is the Pagani Zonda C12. It takes its engine from a Merc, a big V12 from Mercedes AMG. Huge engine. Next is Spiker. This takes its engine from the Audi S4, an old one at that. Yeah. Next is Donkenvoort. This is the D8 GTO, if I am not mistaken, which I probably am. Audi, once again. This time it's the 5-cylinder 2.5 from the RS3. Pretty a unique engine, and now it's been put into another car, which means it has a slightly more use of life. Next is the Toyota GR/GT86. These take its engines from the Subaru BRZ, albeit two different engines because of new generation. But either way, it's a 2 litre boxer engine for this one, and a 2.4 litre boxer engine for this one. Next is MG. This is the MG ZT260. This is a 260 horsepower MG, which is a 260 horsepower Rover. This and the Estate both took the engine from a Ford Mustang, a 4.6 litre V8, putting 260 horsepower. Very something, I don't know. Next is like the Mercedes and Renault before, Peugeot/PSA as they're normally known, and would you believe it, BMW. They teamed up and created some petrol engines. Why am I laughing? I don't know. But it was put into the 1 series and it was put into the 3 series. And it was also put into some Minis and I'm pretty sure some Citroens at the time. And now we talk about the McLaren F1. This was once the fastest car in the world. Not only did Rowan Atkinson own one, I think he owned one. Mr. Bean owned one of these. It takes its engine from a luxury BMW. So just like how a Pagani takes its big engine from a high performance Merc, McLaren take it from a high performance BMW. Next is Morgan. This I think is the Plus 8 and this is the Aero 8, so it must be. The modern ones use like old Rover engines, but the new ones use BMW V8s. Yeah. Next is Smart with the 4.4. It takes its engine from a Nissan, a very tiny engine, but it's got different codes because it's part of a Nissan, part in a Renault, and part in a Mercedes, and as we know, Smart is Mercedes, so it's kind of known as a Mercedes engine even though it isn't. But either way, it is a Nissan engine. Next is the Lykan Hypersport from Fast and Furious. This takes its engine from a roof. Either way, Roof just basically modify high performance Porsches and make them into more high performance cars. But anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This is actually the last video of the year, last video of 2022. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. If you want to watch me react to normal videos,
what the hell is he doing?
Then I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which means I'll see you guys in the new year. Peace and Happy New Year.